Hello, Umut here. Welcome to another video. Today I have my art journal in front of me and I am inspired by this beautiful scrapbook collection by Stamperia that has all the Alice in Wonderland goodies in it. It has a vintage design with colors and everything, and I really love the content of it. If you're looking for Stamperia products, I think the best is to just Google wherever you are, because in each country they have different stockists that sell their products. That's how I find their products myself. I was working with them before, but now I don't, so that's how I buy. I'm going to prepare my pages with this tissue paper that I have in my stash. It was gifted by one of my crafty friends. It's just some writings, like it's like a background trick that we have when we want to get rid of the white background, so that we have something interesting at the background. If you don't have any tissue paper, doesn't matter, just use a script stamp or make a tissue paper. If you stamp it over the tissue paper, you will get the same effect. So there are many ways to do it. I was almost going to journal again, reverse, but I always do it, but thankfully I saw it on time. I cut this big picture from the scrapbook paper, and this will be my center focal point, which will make my job really easy because it's quite big and covers most of the page anyway. And I have another stamp, crackle stamp from Stamperia, and I'm going to use a brown ink from Archival to just stamp it around and continue to give some interest and texture to the background. And because the theme here is more vintagey, I'm just continuing with those colors, muted colors. I'm not adding any more vibrant colors. Around this picture, I'm going to use my Faber Castell pit brush marker to just go around and give some shadow, so it doesn't look like it's cut out and just glued there. And one of my favorite techniques, I'm going to use a Tim Holtz bricks stencil and my modeling paste. And my modeling paste is from Liquitex. It's light modeling paste. And go around all the edges to create a wall effect, so that they look like they are sitting in front of a wall or something like that. I like this modeling paste a lot because it's like pure white, crisp white. It has a nice texture, like a nice height to it when I use it. Also it dries moderately fast, and I can use heat gun on it if I want to, but this time I think I air dried it. And I'm using these three colors from Paper Artsy acrylic paints, Sage Taupe and Chocolate Pudding, and my glazing liquid from Golden to do some glazing, to do a technique that you can use in many ways. Glaze makes your acrylic paints not to dry for more time. The acrylic paints dry very quickly, but if you glaze it, meaning if you mix a little bit glaze with your paint, it will stay wet for longer. Also, if you glaze it a lot, it will be more transparent, so you will open the paint. I'm just mixing a little bit color and glaze so that I can have this interesting effect on the wall, like it's worn out naturally. If I paint it as it is with acrylic paint, I won't have the same effect. However, I'm mixing my paint with glaze, putting it on the wall, and then with a moist baby wipe, I'm just wiping it away. In some places it gets stuck, in some places I can clean it out, which gives a really natural, nice effect that you cannot do if you intend for it. So this way I went from the lightest to the darkest color, doing the same thing over and over again. mixing my paint with the glaze, then covering my page, and then with a moist baby wipe taking it off after waiting like 30 seconds or so that it sinks a little bit. And finally I decided also to do it with black because I thought it wasn't dark enough for me. So don't worry, it will clean. When you first put it with black it seems a little bit scary, but it's glazed, so you have time as opposed to normal acrylic paint to clean it off your page. And as you see now I have an interesting background on the wall, interesting color, a range of colors that I couldn't get if I want to, if I didn't use this method. And now I want to work on my sentiment. So from the scrapbook collection again, I'm going to cut out some words and sentiments that I can use. So I cut 3 and I'm going to see how I want to organize them. So I cut it all eventually, made it shorter, smaller, and I'm going to have this long quote from the book just under the scenery, and just underneath it says from Wonderland, and on top I have this nice hanging, like it will be hanging on the wall. It's always tea time. And to integrate them better into the scenery, I decided to use my finger sponge and this archival ink again in sepia color, and just go around the edges of these sentiments so that they look like a part of this page. Again, not sticking out as if it's a different thing. And finally I'm going to use chocolate pudding in the dark brown color to do some splashes so that I bring everything together. And also it brings some energy that I like. It brings some movement, some spontaneity and energy, as I said. So that's why I like splashes a lot. And to frame my pages I'm using a dark brown marker to just go around them enough to frame it with a little bit darkness. I don't exaggerate because we have the wall-like texture, so a little bit will be just enough to make a nice frame and make a little bit darker on the edges. And I'm finished with the page, nice and simple. It's very hard to execute, so I hope you had fun watching it and got inspired. If you like my videos, again don't forget to leave comments or like and subscribe to my channel so you can get the news that I publish when I publish new videos. Also here is my Instagram page for you to see sneak peeks and other stuff. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.